Look at this thing. It's I get such a kick out of this car. Oh, yeah, Rocket Miata. So I'm coming up on the increment for the first oil change, and we're gonna put red line fluids in it, but it's not quite there with miles, so I figured we got a beautiful Tennessee day, and we're gonna run some miles up on this thing and take you with us. Woohoo! So one of the most interesting things in this whole build was the fact that we lost none of the drivability of the original Miata design with this car. It's very surprising because obviously snow's heavy. It's got an LS8 powered LS1 aluminum block, that helps, but it still handles like a Miata. It's still a badass little road car. So it's a pleasant surprise to say the least. I don't know what kind of gas mileage it gets. Frankly, I don't really care. But it is an 11-gallon tank, so you've kind of got to be aware that there's just a limited capacity. So I guess the phrase that everybody uses now is range anxiety. I have range anxiety with the gas-powered car. What the fuck? We had some cooling issues right off the bat. It's a complicated way to put too much engine in not enough car. There's a cop right ahead, so I've got to behave myself. Not that I wouldn't behave myself. The cooling issue is a huge challenge. We've got a reservoir for the supercharger, and so there's essentially two cooling systems. Charge cooler, it is a wet cooling system, it's not a dry charge. So my good friend TC panicked, I got it all plumbed. TC ended up burping it, getting it all figured out as far as air evacuation. And if you LS guys know, in a car like this, and an LS engine, there's lots of opportunities for trapped air pockets. So got all of that dialed in. It's super, super solid. It sits at 185 degrees, 190 if you push it hard. I'm fine with that. These engines are designed to operate in and around 200 degrees as far as my research tells me. So we are good to go, and I can beat on this thing. So one of the other fun things is that although we have V8 Roadster suspension upgrades, Willwood brakes, adjustable coilovers on all four corners, it still maintains the stock Miata alignment specs. I took it down to the co-op here where I live. They do a great job on hot rod alignments, and they got it into spec. I slipped the guy a $5 and he got me some extra camber. So again, it's just one of those things to where it's a usable car, it's a user-friendly car, it's accessible, it's an LS engine. If I have something go down, I can go to the local AutoZone or whatever parts store, O'Reilly, and I can get replacement parts for it. Short of a couple of little things, there's been some great partners on this build as well, and I'm stalling, running my mouth. I'm giddy like a schoolgirl, waiting at a stoplight to actually go there. So we're in town. I'm not going to be stupid, but I think you can probably hear the exhaust. It's got a very aggressive note. It's not too loud. We used motorcycle baffles at the end of the exhaust pipes because each bank is probably about 36 inches long. It's a short car. It's a total 96-inch wheelbase, just like the Shelby's. And there's a potential that it's very, very loud. Truth is, it's got a nice bark, and it's street legal. I keep running into the same car. top over and over again. I hope he doesn't decide to get curious. However, fully insured. I'm registered. We got tags on this thing, so it's all good to go. All the lights work. Anyway, just driving it down the road. It sits in the road nice. It's not unpredictable. We've got 15 by 10 inch wheels on it. Flares help with clearance. I've got all the fenders and quarter panels clearanced out on it. It's got a nice pretty paint job on it, although it was a budget paint job in the sense that we used a value-friendly Summit Racing single-stage paint, and it still looks nice. And the important thing there is that I'm not afraid to go and get some cone scars on this thing or some rock chips, and that we're going to do. So the other thing is this. You look out the hood, we see the blower. It's just fun, man. Come on! It's a blower in a Miata. Okay, there's lots of forced induction applications for Miatas, from the 1.6s to the 1.8s to V8s and turbos and all that kind of stuff. But man, V8 supercharged. Check this. Instantly broke the tires loose in second gear, and I had to feather foot it. It kind of freaked me out a little bit, but you know, that said, it doesn't blow the tires off in every gear, and the power is meterable. And what I mean by that is that if I ask for it, it's there, man. This is the fastest car I've ever owned. It's the fastest car I've ever driven, and it's the quickest responding vehicle I've ever had. Linear acceleration is fan-freaking-tastic in this thing, and it's super fun. And it's a T56 Magnum F body spec or F spec transmission. Gear spacing is perfect. 355 rear gears through a Ford 8.8 differential, and essentially, this is a Corvette in a Miata skin. And I'm not afraid to say that. I will put that up against anybody's logic. So for me, it's my way to get into a supercar for way less money. Son of a gun, this thing's fast. Now, I am on public roads. I am not exceeding the speed limit, just so you know. If anybody wants to download my YouTubes and see if I'm doing a street racing thing, I'm not doing a street racing thing. I'm not doing a street racing thing. No. But here in Tennessee, we've got some beautiful twisty back roads. And what makes this thing even more fun is the fact that it still handles like a Miata. Have I said that before? It still handles like a Miata. Miata is the most road-raced, two-seat, factory-built roadster in the world. A spec Miata is more popular today than it was when it was first introduced, which really is saying something about a program, about a vehicle, about a platform. I've got a low-car shifter in this thing, and it sits absolutely perfectly, partly because the shifter is clockable, and we can put it in any position we want. I'll try and flip the phone around and show you. No, couldn't flip the phone around. Dangerous. Set for 7,000 RPM, and that's safe. We've done a valve job upgrade. We've got the double spring valves, or valve springs, and it's a stock cylinder head. We changed it to a lower compression head, the 317 heads from the 242s, I believe is what they are, to give a little bit bigger dome and a little bit less compression so we can be a little more blower friendly. We are sitting right about 7 PSI, about 7 pounds of boost, and rarely accessing that. There's some saying on the internet about understanding power and dispensing it wisely. I can't quote it because my heart's kind of racing right now because I'm so absolutely ecstatic and jazzed about driving this little car. But this car has all the power that I want, along with the ability to drive normally, to drive stop and go traffic. It's not going to overheat. It's not going to act stupid. And it's got the turning radius of a freaking go-kart. It's amazing. It's just amazing, man. I love the car. V8 Roadster's components combined with a little bit of chassis stiffening that I found some really great videos and tips on the internet. We did some seam welding of the critical seams in this car because let's face it, it's a convertible. And you got all the classic convertible problems, twist, cowl shake, actually suspension torque will twist this unibody. There's even a Delrin bushing in the door to keep the door stiff to increase handling. They're that flexible. So when you do things like seam welding, adding the chassis stiffeners, the frame rails from V8 Roadsters, parts like that, every little piece contributes to the car becoming more usable. Oh wait, pulling out of a corner. Oh no, we can't do it. Okay, so we got some traffic here. I'm not going to be stupid. We're going to save that for the autocross. What I was saying is that every little piece contributes to the overall increase in handling, or in handling quality on this car. So what we have here, is a 3,000-pound car with essentially almost 600 horsepower at the engine. We went to DVR High Performance to verify and just get an idea of where the calibration was. Lance Drager from R&D Performance Specialties put the base cal in this thing, and it was spot on. David Branson is a technician when it comes to his calibrations, and he was very complimentary of the base calibration in this car. We did some throttle tip-in improvements, things like that, and actually pulled back a little bit of timing from the best dyno pull, which was like right at about 460-ish at the tire, and we pulled a bit of timing out because, as happens when you have a high compression engine, and ours is 9-to-1, and you throw forced induction at it, even mild, like we've got 7 psi, what happens is at some point the block pressurizes because of the forced atmospheres being shoved down in it, and we had to back off a little bit of timing because it was, frankly, it was pushing a little bit of oil out the dipstick because it was pressurizing the crankcase. A couple of things will fix that, going through the heads and getting blower-friendly rings. My buddy John Bouchard has advised that when we're ready for more boost, then we'll throw the either some cylinder heads on it that'll facilitate that, or we'll go through these again. But the other truth is that we've got many miles per gallon before this thing is going to need any work at all whatsoever. The beautiful thing about LS engines is that we started with it's a 2004 GTO pullout with 127,000 miles. We pulled it apart. There's zero bearing wear. There's even still some hone hatch in the cylinder bores. So there was nothing really to do. So we left it alone. We didn't pull the pistons. We didn't put the new ring, blah, blah, blah. We could have done all that stuff, but the truth is, how much power are you really going to use in a 3,000-pound Miata? How much power are we really going to use in a 3,000-pound Miata? So that's where we are. We've been romping around on it a little bit, you know, kind of going through the gears and rowing a little bit. My temperature gauge shows me about 186 degrees. My gas gauge shows me that I've got enough gas to get back home. And this thing just behaves itself. It's just nice. I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to shut up and I'm just going to drive home. along for the drive. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Thanks for watching Hands on Cars.